Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's, of course, Cape Rugby TV. We're on a weekly basis. We take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby. Nice to have you along. We've got a nice full show for you this evening. Big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. You can, of course, win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks during the course of the show. I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's very easy. Just go to our Facebook page. And, of course, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. We'll take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy during the course of the show. Of course, as you know, it's been a very busy last few weeks. It was the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. But joining me in studio to talk to us a little bit about the Score Sevens and what's happening in the world of club rugby, let me welcome my guests. Nice to have you back in the studio, Jerome Parvater.
Yes, JP, it's good to be back. It's also Faisal was here for I don't know how many months we've been here. We haven't been here. Took the wrong turn off, but he arrived. So yeah, it's good to be back, JP.
Faisal, you've been, well, both of you in fact have been working non-stop. You haven't been off the show, maybe just the location changing slightly.
Yeah, no, thanks, JP. It's always good to be back. As Jerome said, I took a bit of a wrong turn to get here. Hopefully next week we get back and I'll be able to find my way. I had to use the GPS, I think, to find my way here. So yeah, definitely looking forward going forward on that.
Of course, one of the big things in the last couple of days that everyone's been talking about is the Score Club Rugby Sevens. It happened now at Newlands on Saturday. Super exciting. I'll ask Jerome about that in a second, but it was a great day, Newlands.
No, definitely. I think it was fantastic 3 weeks. I think we managed to pull it off. We showed that it is possible. I think the clubs, they were fantastic. Everybody that came aboard, we had full support. And I think just this 3 weeks, shows that, going forward, club rugby season, what we're looking for, it is possible. If everybody's on board, everybody buys into it. And I think the climax of the weekend being at Newlands was fantastic. I think the feedback has been phenomenal. Yeah. Everybody that participated, were over the moon in terms of, being able to get out on the field.
And one of the changes this year, obviously we know that there were no spectators at Newlands, but although I must say that with all the fans, the players being there, they were really your spectators and your fans.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that was fantastic, just the spectators. And I think the good thing with Sevens was you were able to have that little bit of fan atmosphere. Yeah. I think it was the first time that Newlands actually had a crowd, since the last match 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I think. So I think just the players being out there was fantastic. And again, it's definitely, moving forward, we can see change. We can see, coming back in the studio as well. It showcases that. Hopefully, there is some sort of normality in that there. So, yeah. We're definitely looking forward.
Jerome, of course, one of the additions this year was Women's Rugby Sevens. We saw some fantastic Women's Rugby Sevens this Saturday.
Yeah, it's good to see the ladies playing, JP, and it's also good for Western Province next year, especially for the 15s. And I could see there's a lot of ladies there, girls that can make it into the Western Province 15er side. So hopefully, I know Jongi Nokwe is involved with women's, and Semi Malatsi were there. Hopefully they spotted a few talented girls there that can get back into the 15s.
Well, talking about talented girls, it was a bit of a round robin, in fact, on Saturday for women's rugby. It was Busy Bees that was playing, Blue Jet was playing, Strand Belleville region, as well, of course, the Kraaifontein region. Let's take a look at the first match. Busy Bees up against Strand region. Bees in the Strand there. Of course, Busy Bees walking away with a win, 24 points to 14. Jerome, but it was an interesting result that, because Busy Bees beating the Strand region, but a close game nevertheless.
Yeah, I mean, Strand got some good goals playing for them, but we all know Busy Bees, I mean, they've been busy for quite a while, training and playing. So it was a good result, but it was actually a very great game of rugby.
Yeah, and Faisal, one of the things that was evident on Saturday is clubs that have been playing friendlies, clubs that have been getting down to the field to stay fit. Clearly, that paid dividends on Saturday.
No, definitely. I think in the Busy Bees games, as Jerome said, you could see, it's a unit that's been training for some time. They played a couple of friendlies together. Yeah. The Strand side have come together last 2 weeks or so. So I think it was a good performance from Strand. I think in general, the feeling is, the clubs that have been playing last couple of weeks, that have been active, you can see, the performance on the field. And I think, we've had a lot new clubs that have come down now that have started playing, even though they haven't played friendly matches, but they have participated in the seventh. So all in all, I think it was a very good performance.
We then took a look at the Shield. Of course, after the first 4 matches that was played on the day, we go into the Shield finals, the Cup finals, and of course the Plate finals and so on. But let's take a look now at the match between Young Peoples and Goodwood. Young Peoples and a Goodwood there, folks. A result then, of course, Young Peoples walking away with a solid win over Goodwood. We'll take a break, and when we come back from the break, we'll carry on taking a look at what's happened at the score. Western Province Club Rugby 7. It's nice to have you all back. Don't go away. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you along. We keep talking club rugby, and of course, as you know, in studio with me, Jerome Parvarter. We've also got Faisal Felton, and we are back in the studio. We've been talking club rugby online, virtually online. Well, not virtually online, physically virtually online for the past 18 months. Making sure that the clubs are connected, talking club rugby, but we are now back in studio, and it's great to have Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby and Jerome Parvarter in studio with me. Yeah, Faisal, the Sevens, before we got to Newlands, obviously there was quite a bit of work that had to go in behind the scenes. You guys had to play across 3 different venues. Why the decision to play across 3 different venues?
I think from our side, it was more, the practicality in terms of COVID, the requirements in terms of what's needed as far as, playing of matches and that there. So one of the things is a permit that's required. And, a lot of people look at matches, and the question's always been asked, why don't we allow spectators? You're allowed to have 2,000. But with 2,000 spectators goes certain requirements that's needed. So from our side, it was always a matter of trying to stick under the 200 people to make sure.
So you spread across three
we
different
spread
venues.
across three venues,
yeah.
make sure that the time, and also from a COVID perspective, we sort of split the amount of people at the particular venue. So it was a bit of a strain on the manpower, but I must say a lot of our club officials have come through, supported us in terms of making it happen. So we had administrators at the various fields, even though we couldn't be at every venue. There were people there that assisted and helped. That was, fantastic.
Well, it certainly was exciting from our perspective. We were able to watch club rugby and we were able to watch sevens rugby across three different venues. I think that was obviously also one of the nice elements is that three different venues got exposure here. Folks, time for us to take a look now at the Shield semi-finals. This played off between Tygerberg and the Gardens.
Delicious.
Tygerberg going down to Gardens then 19 points to 10. Jerome, I think that was probably one of the shock results for the day. Tygerberg, of course, the 2019 champions, but it just didn't go their way on the day.
Yeah, it was really a big surprise. As you say, they were the champions. But it's also good for rugby, JP, to see a team like Gardens coming through and playing some good rugby. It's not like you can't expect, you just rock up and you win. So it's good if teams are putting an effort in. And I mean, obviously the players were psyched up to play against Tygerberg, you could see.
Gardens played in the sort of, call it pre-season before the sevens. They played in the round robin with Fora and Police and I think Blue Jets. That means, and they played I think for 4 weeks in a row, training and playing every weekend in those round robin matches. How much of a difference do you think all that pre-sevens training would have made?
You can see, JP, training and playing, it's a sort of a different fitness. And you can see Gardens were playing, and I know Tygerberg didn't play a lot of games. So at the end there, you can see the fitness levels of Garden coming through.
Yeah.
So the more you play, the more friendlies you can play, and the more you can play and combine it with your fitness. I mean, players don't just want to run the whole day and every week, but if you can get friendly games in, it makes a big difference, and you can see the end result there.
You guys do talk about being match fit. Let's take a look, folks, at the Cup semi-finals now. This was Hands and Hearts against Hamilton's. Hands and Hearts walking away then 12 points to 10 win there in the Cup semi-final over Hamilton's. Jerome, Hands and Hearts, well, both of these sides, Hamilton's and Hands and Hearts. I mean, you were saying during the game that it was down to the wire. It's only a 2-point difference in a 7-minute space, but it really was back and forth, very close.
Yeah, great defense. As we just saw that the try where Mario Wilson was breaking through, but good defense from Hands and Hearts there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the turnaround in the game there, because Hamilton was supposed to score a meter from Hands and Hearts try line. Hands and Hearts turnover, got the ball, play through phases and score. So, but that was really it could have gone anywhere. But we know how Hands and Hearts can play and how they can turn the things around. So, but that was a great game.
Right, folks. Well, of course, as you know, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. You can see MChem in all its glory there behind me now. That's, of course, the pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. And for those of you that didn't know, November is Diabetes Awareness Month. And the professionals at MChem 24-hour pharmacy urge you to test your blood glucose levels and to make sure that you are not pre-diabetic or perhaps even already diabetic. Now, people built in an apple shape have a higher risk than those that are in a pear shape. And T2 diabetes is a progressive condition. People with early type 2 diabetes are mostly asymptomatic. And symptoms may include excessive thirst, frequency of urination, and perhaps even fatigue. Now, MChem has a specialized diabetic clinic with nursing sisters trained to assist in the advice and management of diabetes. MChem is the only outlet for Freestyle Libre in the Western Cape, a state-of-the-art glucose monitoring system that connects to your phone and alerts you to unstable glucose levels wherever you are. Now, I think that that's a fantastic initiative that you can actually, I mean, everybody's got their phone with them nowadays, and that your phone will, in fact, notify you and tell you when your glucose levels are unstable. Now, MChem stocks an extensive range of specialized diabetic products, quality blood glucose monitors, diabetic foods, sweets, and of course, supplements. And if you are a diabetes sufferer or care for someone that is, then you're welcome to visit MChem for expert advice and the best in diabetes-related products. Folks, that's of course MChem 24-hour pharmacy. You don't get better. We'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We are in studio, and I'm joined by fellow commentators, fellow panel members. I'm not really actually sure anymore. Faisal Felton. Faisal, nice to have you back in studio. It's been a tough 18 months. Well, it's been a tough 2 years for rugby, but Saturday just shows that rugby has not stopped. Clubs have stayed connected. I mean, this really, and the fact that you guys are back here and it's November, and we know that the Stormers and the Currie Cup and the Under-20s and the Varsity Cup, everything, all the wheels are still turning.
No, definitely. I think, this last, like you said, 2 years has been very tough. I think it's been a matter of waiting, to get back out on the field. We normally have seasons. It's from April till September. We know it's the end of the season. It's pre-season, it's off-season. And I think to be having sevens now during this time, it just showcases, the need is still there. The hunger is still there. So I think from our side, like I said earlier on, that normality is key and it's important for us. And I think, from the officer side, from Jerome's side, getting out on the field, just being back on the park has been fantastic. And you saw with Gardens earlier on, just playing their friendly matches. I think everybody is just hungry. We want to get back on the field. We want to get back to a season. We want to start playing again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, even if you're not talking club rugby, we're still talking about all the wheels that are turning behind the scenes. I mean, Jerome, you guys have been busy non-stop. The Under-20s, we've been talking about the Under-20s. We've been talking about the Varsity Cup. You've been talking about the Currie Cup. I mean, you've literally gone from the Under-20 Currie Cup into the preparation now, helping the clubs for pre-season for the Varsity Cup, I assume. I mean, it really is a 12-month season.
There's no more stopping, JP. Yeah, and I'm also, I've been now for a few sessions helping CPUT again in the evenings. A lot of players out there on the field at CPUT. So if you look at all the players at UWC, a lot of guys pre-season, Marty's, UCT. Like you say, it doesn't stop. It's just continue. So even if it was a tough year for rugby, guys are positive, guys are playing, and things are looking good.
Fantastic stuff. Talking about the varsities, Marty's was up against Durbel. This is also in the Cup semi-final. Stellenbosch and Durbel, then of course, Faisal, of course, Marty's themselves, well, in fact, is it fair to say now that any of these clubs are sevens specialists? Because it does seem that a lot of the clubs have become almost, I wouldn't say segmented, but some clubs got comfortable with the fact that they've got their 15s players who are really 15s, but then they've got their sevens guys as well. And more of the clubs are becoming sevens specialists. It's not just a handful of clubs in the past that were sort of known to be the sevens, gurus. Now everybody's becoming a sevens guru. I mean, Marty's and Durbel, both of them, highly skilled at sevens.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, as you said, clubs have the seven specialists and the 15s. I mean, it's shown as well. Gardens producing great results, Goodwood being able to compete in that there, and it shows. When it comes to sevens, you need those seven specialists in that there. The faster guys and getting around the field in that. And I think that's the one thing is that has shown now the last couple of weeks, and that there's the seven specialists and there's the 15s in it.
Jerome, that's a great way to where I think, would it be fair to say that the 15s players have sort of the big guys have maintained their call it position in the team, and then when it comes to seven, you've got quite a lot more flexibility to bring in big guys and small guys and fast guys.
Yeah, look, it depends on your approach, and I mean, well done to Faisal in Western Province putting the sevens tournament together, because it helps a lot with skills, it helps a lot with fitness. So even if you're not that serious to win, but you can actually let a prop play and let him run, because there's a lot of space on the field. He must run a lot. That's for fitness, and you can train fitness, and you can play. But I mean, as you were seeing there, the guys are quite serious about this. So obviously they're not playing props, but I mean, if some of the coaches, they can really experiment, but they get some quick props, and it's good fitness. It's good for the skill level.
Well, it was a win there for Stellenbosch. They beat Durban by just 1 point, 17 points to 6 then in the Cup semi-final. And as we told you earlier on, the women's sides were, of course, also in action. Let's take a look now at the match between Strand Region and Blue Jets. We're back, and of course a win there for the Strand region over Blue Jets. Faisal, why the regions?
As you said earlier, and I think Sevens provided an opportunity for us to get back into rugby. One of the challenges that we had now last couple of months has been numbers. I think a lot of the clubs, but with Sevens, yes, you have the opportunity, to at least have a team to be out there. And I think it's just one way of us now starting to get back into the swing of things. So from the ladies' side, there were a number of clubs that participated. Obviously, with the ladies, a lot more challenging with numbers. I think the one thing, there was some of the clubs that indicated, they're not available. So what we did was we combined the various regions, but we looked at ladies in specific regions and basically combined them. So we had the Strand region, we had Kraaifontein region, and then you had Blue Jets who played as a club. They have sufficient numbers, and Busy Bees who played as a club because of numbers as well.
It's great stuff. It's a way to keep the clubs that want to get involved in the system. It's a way to get everybody part of the picture, I suppose.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think specifically with the ladies, we need to keep them busy. We need to keep them playing. And I think from a point of, the Sevens have provided that opportunity and avenue. And, as Jerome said earlier, and I think the one key thing is that we need to play continuously if we want to get back. So I think that was a great thing. And it's definitely something going forward that we are going to look at, where there is more regular participation amongst the ladies.
And of course, we do know that we've asked every club to have women's rugby representative. Those forms are still available for you to join. If you're watching the show right now and you want to get involved with growing women's rugby, there is every club has got a women's rugby representative, and all you need to do, if you want to even join, is sign up. And once there is a women's rugby representative, it helps women and girls in the area to join the club and have someone to speak to. So that's fantastic. Yeah. As you, of course, know, the Score Energy Drinks, the sponsor to the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and, of course, CTC Sports that manufactured the jerseys for the Score Sevens. Now, if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, all you need to do is go to our Facebook page and see if you can identify the logo. We modify the logo a little bit and we change it, and then we put it on the Facebook page and we ask you if you can identify the logo. This week we took Macassa's logo, made a few changes, and asked you if you identify the logo. And as always, we got enormous responses from you, the Club Rugby fans out there, who immediately knew that the logo was Macassa. And congratulations to this week's winner, Michael George. Michael, you walk away with a case of Score Energy drinks as well as a set of masks courtesy of CTC Sports. We'll get in touch with you on Facebook Messenger. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to take a look at the Shield finals as well as the Cup finals. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We keep talking club rugby. Of course, now it's time for us to take a look at the Shield finals from the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Kraaifontein region was up against Busy Bees. Let's take a look at this. Well, a solid win there then for Kraaifontein over Busy Bees, 31 points to 19. Jerome Danelle Rousseau, Western Province Rugby's senior women's team, of course, manager, former player. We spoke about her during the commentary on Saturday. Now coaching, senior coach for the Kraaifontein region. It does look like she brought some of those senior skills that you guys have been working on behind the scenes. She looks like she brought some of those senior skills into this outfit.
Yes, you could see with her experience, obviously you can see, but I also must say, in that region, there's a lot of ladies who play for the province senior Currie Cup women's team. So it helped a lot, and you can just see that the experience and the knowledge that girls have. But yeah, take nothing away from them now.
Interesting that you say that, because Kraaifontein region, in this case, was up against Busy Bees. And Busy Bees, I think, had 12 players, senior players, Faisal, in the seniors team. So although you say there's a lot of Western Province players from the women's side in the Kraaifontein region, they were up against a massive outfit. So some very interesting results here.
I think from our side, definitely, I mean, like you said, showcases, there was a number of provincial players in the Busy Bees and a number of provincial in the Kraaifontein. Yeah. And I think the one good thing is, obviously Danelle, being manager of the Western Province women's team, is now, would like to pursue, in coaching. So it was good to see her out there coaching. And I think it also showcases the program that we have running with the Western Province Women's High Performance Program, whereby we identified a number of ladies that would like to take up coaching. And I think that's a message to everybody out there that would like, to be involved and active in ladies, whether you're an administrator, whether you're a coach, whether you're a referee, come out. We've had that campaign for the champion in the region. Get out there, sign up, and let us know so that, we can steer in the right direction. And I think with Danelle now, she will also be doing a level 2 coaching course, which is happening on the, I think it's the 11th and 12th or 10th and 11th of December. Yeah. And basically it's a, level 2 high performance coaching program that will be specifically for the ladies. So that is something that, will steer, coaches and bring a lot more coaches on. And ultimately what we would like next year is that they will continuously be part of a program whereby they will be monitored and nurtured in terms of going forward, and eventually look at doing the level coaching 2.5, which is run by, the high performance program with Jerome.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately that's where we want to head with ladies.
So the women's structures really have gone through the roof in the last 18 months. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of activity there. But good result then for Kraaifontein, beating Busy Bees, 31 points to 19. Let's take a look now at the match between Young Peoples and Gardens. This is in the Shield finals. Young People's coming through the ranks, Jerome. Would you say they're coming through the ranks? I mean, we haven't seen them in the final in the plate or cup finals in the last few years, but they really rose to the occasion this Saturday, and a big win for them over Gardens. Not to mention, of course, Gardens beat Tygerberg. So for Young People's to score this result, I mean, you were on the side of the field there. Good result for them.
No, very good result for Young People's, but we also know, like, Young People's, they're always busy. Always playing, always looking for games, and you can see they've been busy for quite a while, which was good. And I mean, one of the strongest teams in Paul. So yeah, I think it was also a good game, but I think Gardens just played a little bit too much rugby against Tygerberg. They were tired, but no, Young People's did well there to win that game. Yeah.
Folks, we'll take a break, and when we come back from the break, well, of course, good result then for Young People's. But when we come back from the break, we'll catch up with the plate finals as well as the actual cup finals. Hamilton's up against Durbell, massive matches, as well as Hands and Hearts against Stellenbosch. Right, folks, you're watching Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you, of course, can catch our repeats on Saturday mornings from 9 to 10. Find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And, of course, catch our YouTube channel if you want to see any of the match highlights, certainly the match highlights from the score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. In the plate final, it was Hamilton's up against Durbell. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Jerome Hamilton's doorbell. For a while there, it was give and take, but eventually Hamilton's ran away with it.
Yeah, I think with a lot of experience on Hamilton's side, Elson Bok, Bernardo Botha, and also Henko Martens. He played for the Blitzboks also. So a lot of experience, taking nothing away from Doorbell. They've also done well. But I think at the end of the day, if you put all that experience together, it's a great win for Hamilton's.
Faisal, I was also talking about Hamilton's, the messages we were getting in on Facebook, on YouTube, on WhatsApp. Some of the clubs that were watching were asking us where did they tune in. It was a great day of coverage for Sevens, for the sponsors, for the moms and the dads and the fans to see what was happening at Newlands, to see the players in action. You had some really positive vibes outside of the stadium.
No, definitely. I think that's one positive from COVID that has taught us, the online workshops, the virtual meetings that we've had. And now that, the idea is that we need to obviously look at moving forward in terms of the live streaming, the TV coverage and that there. So definitely, I think that's definitely something that's going to be part of the product that we're going to build for next year when it comes to club rugby, is looking at having more of these games, on Cape Rugby live and broadcast and that there. So,
yeah. Which was fantastic for folks to be connecting it to their TVs, and they had people in their clubhouses, and that was good news.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing is, the spectators being afforded the opportunity, not being able to be at Newlands and be able to still watch the matches. Anything, we're not sure what's possible, what's going to happen, but I can tell you one thing is we've got a plan that club rugby next year will happen. And, whether we have spectators or we don't have spectators, but there's definitely a plan in place.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's good news. Let's take a look at the big plan that ended up rolling out, of course, in the cup final. It was Hands on Hearts, who are, on the best of days are a very dangerous Sevens rugby side, and they were up against Stellenbosch, who we also know, very dangerous Sevens rugby side. It was a fantastic game. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. but what a great game. Hands and Hearts, of course, taking the win there. 15 points to 12. Jerome, while we were on the side of the field, we were talking about it, about the match itself. And you said to me during the game that this was exactly what you had expected. I asked you at one stage, did you think that the game would be so close? And that last 3 or 4 minutes, in fact, most of the game, we saw the advantage going to both sides. The 1 minute, Stellenbosch was up, then Hands and Hearts was up, and then possession would change. I mean, you said it on the side of the field that it was exactly what you expected.
Yes, I thought it would be more exciting if there was extra time, because the time was up when the Hands and Hearts had possession, and the penalty was given to Hands and Hearts, and one of Marty's players didn't retrieve, so took a quick tap, and obviously Marty's guy tackled him, got another penalty, almost under 22. Hands and Hearts take the penalty, kick it over, time, Hands and Hearts won the game. So it was expected. Like I said, it would have been nice if there was extra time in that game.
I think Faisal will differ for you, with you, but Faisal, that was, of course, you now have new score Western Province Club Rugby champions. Hamilton's walk away with the trophy. I mean, they must obviously be over the moon.
Definitely, as Jerome said.
Sorry, not Hamilton's, Hands and Hearts.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into trouble from everybody if I don't correct that. Hands and Hearts walk away with the trophy. They must be over the moon.
No, definitely. I think, Hands and Hearts is fantastic. Again, showing the clubs in terms of the depth and in terms of, the experience and that, as Jerome said, I mean, up until the last minute, we sat there, I wouldn't say praying. It would have been exciting to have extra time. It would have been exciting to have extra time, but just having to make sure that everybody understands the rules, what would happen if it was, if it was extra time, sudden death. I think we'd like the games to be close, but I think it was a bit too close for comfort from our side. But I think over and all, it was a fantastic way to end the year off, to have rugby, and especially I think no one expected. Everybody knows Hands and Hearts as 7 specialists. I think from the start. We knew they'll be up there, and coming against Marty's, I think it was great performance and that there. And again, it showcases the depth and talent that we have in the Cape from rugby.
No, it's fantastic, Jerome. Thanks for joining us in studio. It's been a great Sevens time. Of course, more of our work now starts next week as we keep following everybody else's progress. We know of course will also wait to see Faisal which clubs are still busy with friendlies. Some clubs are busy preparing Sevens tournaments. So it doesn't end, and we'll of course be carry on talking club rugby. But Jerome, great to have you back in the studio. We're looking forward to having you back as soon as possible. Yeah,
it's good to be back in the studio, JP. I must say, I miss the comfort of my couch at home, but it's always nice to be back in the studio.
And Faisal, to you as well. Thanks for coming in. We're absolutely thrilled to keep talking club rugby, and as I said to Jerome, we look forward to seeing you next week.
No, definitely. Before I go, I was going to say, congratulate Jerome there for the commentating. I think he did a fantastic job being called on. So it just shows the talents that we have and the skills that we have in that there. So I think from our side, again, we are unearthing, new talent and new expertise in that there. So definitely something going forward in that there. We're looking
There's
forward
life
to
after rugby.
There's life after rugby. I think with club rugby, we start grooming them. So there's definitely life after, club rugby and provincial rugby. So thanks.
Right, folks, I'm going to leave it at that and say to you, thanks for joining us. It's been great to have you all watching this evening. Of course, we carry on talking club rugby, and next week we'll take a look at what some of the clubs are up to, and of course we'll start taking a look at the Varsity Cup, the Currie Cup, and preparation for 2021, and we will also be looking at some club profiles over the next few months. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. A fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.